All right, YouTube, what is up? We are back with day 166 on the quest to clean 405, and I'm officially a boomer. I have driven myself officially insane with this camera. The last 2 days, yesterday I was working out, so this is from Monday, actually Tuesday. This is day one of the next phase of the program. The day after was day two. During day two, during yesterday's workouts, I finished the workout after a bunch of yaps, and I look at the microphone and I see the dreaded, I don't know if you, yes, you can. Okay, look at that camera, that actually works. See that mute right there? That means everything that I say is not recorded. So we're actually going to go in and click unmute here. I'm a boomer, dude. I don't even know how this, okay, I think I got this. Click in here. There we go. All right, now it is unmuted. So I noticed that happened yesterday. I have no idea. When I clicked that, I thought I did it during my workout yesterday, messing around with things, touching things. So I was pissed. I texted a girlfriend. I'm like, dude, I literally should bring up the text. I was like, I think I just recorded that entire workout, and I was muted. Wasn't too butthurt about that day because it was a Speedbuster Tuesday. There was nothing crazy impressive going on other than my yapping and the amazing personality that you guys missed out on. And then I come to realize, I go to edit this video for today, and I realize I had myself muted for not only that day, but my Monday workout, which was one of the greatest workouts I've had in a long time. We front squatted 415 pounds, all-time lifetime PR. We hit a 255 snatch deficit PR, which was 20 pounds, which was a 20-pound PR, moved at a much faster pace than our old 235. We were diving deep. We hang cleaned 365 pounds, which was pretty impressive. We tried for a 390. It wasn't beautiful, but it was close. And we triple jumped 27 feet, which was a foot PR. So we're gonna kind of dive into some of the stuff. But I'm sorry for messing up the audio. It's gonna be two videos in a row where we are voicing over and we are chatting like this. I do want the YouTube to continue to grow. I do want the YouTube to continue to be a high quality product, and I get pretty pissed at myself, not gonna lie, when it's kind of videos like this where it feels like I messed up the product. But especially with the support you guys have been having recently, I really do appreciate the support. You guys have been leaving comments, asking good questions, and just watching the videos in general. It sucks. I'm sorry for messing up the videos, but hopefully we get something out of today. I'm pretty pissed about this one because this was a pretty sweet workout. But we're starting VBT phase, or weeks 10 and 11. I guess it's technically phase 5. With this program, our goal is to really kind of have that final push for a max out phase, which is week 12 of this program. This week, I am traveling to Kansas on Friday. On Friday, we go to Kansas for softball. It's like a 6-hour drive. So kind of splitting up week 1 of this program into 2 separate weeks. We talked about this on the previous video, but it's kind of a way to have like a little mini deload, splitting 1 week up into 2. So we're training 3 days this week. We had this workout, we had yesterday's workout, and we have today's workout that we're gonna go do after this, take out a little bit of the anger that we had from these microphones, and we got the microphone working this time, so we don't have any more boomer mistakes. But we're building up for this week 12 max phase. We're spreading this phase out 2 weeks because we have a big softball tournament on Friday. Pretty excited for the softball tournament on Friday. Don't want to crush ourselves before that. And it's just the fatigue of this program. This program is a pretty intense program, especially with the weights that we're moving currently. And I just want these last 4 weeks to really be able to dial in and get after something, right? So we're doing 3 days this week, really get after stuff. Come back from Kansas after the 6-hour car ride. I typically, after a softball tournament, especially if there's travel involved, I'm just shot on that Monday. We'll probably just go in on Monday, get a sweat in, and then on Tuesday we will start Thursday of the program and then Friday of the program, and that Friday is just going to be the heavy max out. Then we will finish, so we'll take Thursday, Friday off next week, and then we'll come back for week 11 of the program, I guess week 10 of the program, finish up week 10 all the way through. Then we have a full-on deload week. Then we have a max out week, right? So it's kind of set up perfectly in that way to where we have a little bit of a mini little deload week here, really get after it next week. Then we have a full-on deload week. Then we have a max out week. The way that I am setting up this program is to give yourselves multiple chances to hit the PRs that you want. I think sometimes when it's just drilled into one day of the week where you need to hit this, there's a lot of pressure on people to go hit those PRs. It kind of messes them up. You could just not be feeling the good that day. It's just fewer chances to hit that PR that you want to hit. So for the week 9, 10, and not week 11 because week 11 is a deload, but week 12, we are giving ourselves chances to hit big PRs, right? So we're jumping on the vertical here. We're hitting approach jumps. We're hitting some heavy squats, and we're hitting some heavy clean and jerks. The goal is still, like, after that deload, after that week 11 deload, to PR on week 12, right? Like, we're still going to get after it. When I'm building out this program, I want this program to be as user-friendly as possible. Give yourself as many shots to PR as possible. You've put in the work for this program, and now it's time to PR. And that's what these next couple phases are, and these next couple phases are pretty intense, which is why we are spreading out this week into 2 weeks, and we have the deload right after it, right? We're working in 97.5% of our velocity-based training zones, which is it's a heavy-ass weight. It's 97% of your max for that day. All of our squats have been brought down to a 0.3 meters a second, and we're hitting singles, which is why we crushed a front squat PR today, and we even saved some in the tank. It really felt like we had a lot more on us. I'm really excited for the back squats today, actually, because the front squats feel like it's being limited just by that upper back, and again, we hang cleaned 365 today and missed 390 twice. So the lower back is just a little bit fatigued, and that's where I'm breaking. But the leg strength, like to be able to hit 415 after those attempts on the hang cleans was pretty sickening. And I really think the back squats, that we could bust out something big in the back squats. So these 2 weeks, got to stay above a 0.3 on those squats, and we're staying pretty strict with that 0.3. If it's below a 0.3, we do not get to keep going. It is cut. The reason we are doing that is we are saving that actual like peak grinder sets for the last week of the program. And a 0.3 is pretty close to a grinder set, but a lot of people can hit them at like 0.7. If you're Will, you're probably hitting in the low 0.2s. I would actually like to know what like his lowest made squat is. I wonder, like, I think Will Fleming said in his book, or maybe it's Brian Mann, that really high level power lifters have got up squats at like a 0.18, which is, dude, I hit a 0.31 on this front squat, and it felt like an eternity. So I can't imagine how fucking heavy a 0.18 is. But if you're not a grinder, a 0.3 is going to feel like a really, really heavy set. We had our athletes going this morning. It was super funny, like watching our twitchy athletes go. A 0.4 was really, really close to like their grindy set, just because they're so used to like bouncing out of the bottom, and they really don't have any of that neurological grind in them, which you could argue is a good thing or a bad thing, but we're getting off track here, and we got to get to the actual video itself. We got to stay in a 0.3 for those squats. And then when we get to the max out weight, there is no velo cap there. We're just maxing out. We're just going to see how heavy we can go, basically until we miss a lift. We'll still hook up the VBT just to see how slowly we can actually move weights, but we got that 0.3 up today, which was pretty smooth. So that's kind of how we're differentiating the singles for these 2 weeks and the singles in the max out week. But again, the singles in these 2 weeks, if you have followed the program, should be you should hit a PR in these 2 weeks after everything we've done in this program, which we did today. And it felt like I was saving something in the tank for next week on these front squats, and I just didn't want to crush myself on a Monday after everything we had done, right? So that's kind of the philosophy of what we're doing. These next 2 weeks are grind it weeks. These next 2 weeks are going to be hard on the system. Then you get your deload. Then we hit a big PR. So let's kind of show what this workout was today. It was kind of cool. I had 130 minutes of recorded time, and it cuts down into 3 minutes. We hit these triple jumps here. These are my least favorite variation. Not least favorite. These are my least skilled variation of jumps, and we haven't done them in a couple weeks just because the landing on the heel has kind of been beating me up recently. So I kind of took a couple weeks off of these, but my old PR on these was a 26.3, and on this jump, we hit a 27-foot jump. This was a massive PR, and I only took 3 jumps because the landing on the heel was beating me up. Again, we had a lot to get to today, so we didn't really want to crush ourselves on the very first thing we did, but it was pretty sweet to see the progress that we are making on these jumps. Like that's almost a foot PR on those triple jumps without training them at all, which is pretty sweet. Then we get to these standing vertical jumps. Again, week 1 of this program, we did our standing vertical jumps. We are going to finish up with these standing vertical jumps for the next 3 weeks to see how much we have increased on the standing vertical jumps. It's a little bit of a goofy, I was talking about this in the video, like I think 1 step or a 2-step approach on the jump mat is much better, just because it's just a much more natural jump. But the one thing I will give standing jumps on the jump mat is it gives you a chance to really give you a readiness test for the day. I think sometimes with the approach jump, it's a little bit more like your approach in, obviously, your rhythm in, your ability to bounce in, like that there's a good feel on those. Whereas the standing ones, they really limit you, but they're also much more consistent. Like on days when you're feeling good, those are going to be high. We busted out like a 33.3 or 33.6 today, something like that, which was a PR, not a lifetime PR. At 212 pounds, we had a 34.2. So the goal by the end of this program is to beat that 34.2 at 240 pounds that we jumped at 212. So that would be pretty sweet. But we had some good jumps, and this was a good send for the day. Just a good little marker. We're like, ooh, we're feeling kind of good. Might be time to get after today. So then we got to these deficit snatches here. Just warming up. I really want to build up the deficit snatches to make regular snatches easier. I kind of talked about this in yesterday's video. Again, it got muted, but the way to make hard things like a snatch or a clean easier is to honestly make them harder, in the same way that you do in like a sport practice, where the goal is to make practice harder the game, so then when you get to the game it's a lot easier. If you can make your lifts harder, the hard lifts that you struggle at, find a way to make them harder by adding the deficits, adding eccentrics. That's why complexes are so effective as well. When you get back to the easier variations of the lifts, they're going to be easier, and it's a good way to build up just different variations in it as well. And I think the one thing when it comes to like strength-based sports is the way to make it harder is, like, you would think add more weight, but if you just add more weight, physiologically you're going to tax yourself, you're going to crush yourself, and there's a ceiling there that you just can't push any further. So that's why complexes again are so effective. That's why variations like the deficit snatches are so effective, is because it makes the hard thing harder, so that when you go back to the hard thing, it's a little bit easier. Once we hit this 225 here on this, I was like, we're cooking today. 235 was our old PR. We crushed that there. We shattered the velo PR. I think we hit that at like a 2.4, and then we had 245 with overhead position. Started to struggle a little bit here. I really got to strengthen shoulders in the next phase of this program, but this was the 255. I was pretty ecstatic about this one. 0 missed reps today too, which is kind of a cool thing as well on this that we did today. Like, a lot of times it'll take just a little bit more to get going. I'll miss a couple reps. We have not been missing a ton of snatch reps here, but this one felt really, 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 really strong. I really liked the squatted position here. Felt like I was keeping the bar decently connected. I wasn't meatheading it too much. Get there, get underneath it. Like, I had a good feeling of like sucking underneath it. And this overhead position. So the shoulder, the right shoulder is feeling like there's not a lot of stiffness there. Like, I might have jacked up my right shoulder, to be honest. I've had some issues with the right shoulder in the past, but it's feeling like it collapses into the shoulder joint. I think we're gonna have to build up some like heavy isometrics here just to strengthen that shoulder, get some rotator cuff work in there to be able to stabilize that position, because it does feel like it's sinking in here. But this overhead position here, where it's not touching the forehead, especially on a deficit snatch, like, but the most that we've got off the ground was last week was 265, but 255 off the ground typically bodies me. And the fact we were able to get that up off the deficit snatch and then hold this overhead position without going off the forehead is, I think, a really big testament to the mobility work that I have been doing. Like, every day before the lift, we've been ripping the 10 minutes of mobility. That 10-minute mobility guideline is on the Yoakum Strength Insider if you're interested in joining, just training with us. But the whole mobility guideline is on there. We're working a bunch of overhead positions right before we go clean, a bunch of hip positions, and it's paying off. And then the second thing that we've been doing is before bed, we've been doing a lot of soft tissue work just to help with the sleep. It's been a good way to just like relax me before sleep. A lot of foam rolling, a lot of like foam rolling. I know it's kind of crazy for me to say that, but usually just using that to feel better before sleep and to like put myself into like a down regulated state. But we've also been working a ton of overhead mobility before I go to bed every night. It's like a 20-minute mobility session that I've been doing at night, and it's paying off. It's kind of cool to see these things kind of come together and piece together the weaknesses that you have on the lift and just building them up outside of the lift, which we've been doing a really nice job of, and finally able to get that baby up. That was pretty sweet. That was a huge win. Kind of pissed I don't have the audio of this. I was screaming. I was pretty hyped. I was a hyped man. Then we got to these hang cleans here. This bar does not feel nearly as good as the hang clean PR that I hit on the other bar, and it kind of broke me, and I ordered a rogue bar. So that rogue bar will be here Saturday. All of next week we will get the lift with that rogue bar. So I'm pretty excited for it, but we were cooking on these hang cleans. We were feeling good. Power and I think that was 295, 315 here, ripping up. That one I missed a little bit. I felt like I was missing my contact point. Like, the bar was flying. It wasn't nearly as responsive as the other bar that I was using. Actually did make a big difference. I could not believe how much of a difference that bar makes. But I felt like I was missing Like, see how that bar is already far away? I'm bouncing a little bit lower than I typically, yeah, that's like mid thigh. Typically, I get it a little bit higher, and I feel that position a little bit better, and then it drifts forward when I do it off the mid thigh. Yeah, like this one. This is almost like a no contact. I mean, it's not a no contact, but look how low I'm hitting that off the quads right there. And I really was feeling that today. It was getting far forward on me, but that's a strong squat position to be able to come out of. I felt pretty good. What do we got here? We got 350. I was pretty proud of this 350. Again, we were pretty shot, and we used a lot of our energy up on those snatches just because we were so hyped about hitting that 255 PR in the snatches, that we were feeling a little mentally fatigued, but see how far away that bar is getting, then we're getting underneath it. Still able to get 350 there. That was pretty sweet. Added 365 on the bar. Before my 388 PR, 365 was my old PR, and I mean, we crucified 365. I could not believe how easily 365 moved. Like, I was pretty hyped about this one, especially with how the technique is. Again, look how far forward and how low down on the hips I'm hitting it. Like, it's almost like a no contact. Like, that bar is flying away from me, and I really did feel that today. But 365 going up like that, that's a good sign for things to come. Then we made the meathead decision after 365. Didn't want to go 375, 380. I was like, it just wasn't going to motivate me. I don't know. Sometimes it's like once you have a PR, like 365 should be a huge win for me, but I hit 388 one time in my life, so I'm like, oh, like, 375 isn't that cool. You set it like secondary PR. So we put 390 on the bar. This was a meathead decision. The whole goal, I talked about this on the camera, was if I miss it, then I get the feel of pulling 390 and just getting more used to 390. If I get it, it's a legendary day. Thank God I didn't get it without the audio working, but the 390 actually felt pretty good. This is the second attempt wasn't nearly as good. I wish the rewind went a little bit faster here. This one was kind of like a bailed attempt, but the first 390. Oh, did I not get the first 390 on camera? Damn. Okay, this is the second 390. That wasn't nearly as clean, but the first 390 was a nice little rep. It was actually pretty close. I was impressed. Then we get to these front squats here. Building up. We just got to stay above a 0.3 here, ripping these as we go, hitting singles until we get to, I mean, it's all singles. So we were just kind of ripping singles until we get to a weight that was going to crucify us on the OVR. We got 315 here. We were setting velo PRs the entire time, like 355 here, moving like it's butter, 365 here, moving like it's butter. We do definitely have a sticking point in that front squat. I think we have 385 on here, right there, 405 here. Yeah, that sticking point right here. This is the one that gets me. This is where the lower back, and not even lower back for me. It's like the upper back comes into play here, especially fatigue after the cleans. It's like this position. I'm a little bit far forward. That front rack isn't super great. Look at those elbows, dude. I mean, how does the wrist not want to freaking kill me on that? But for sure, work on that front rack a little bit more to open that up. But definitely felt the fatigue from those cleans and being able to pull those cleans on here, hitting that sticking position. So that's what I'm excited for on the max out week. When we do the max out week, I think I'm just going to have a separate day of like jumps and front squats rather than doing it after cleans, just so we can really see what we can move on those front squats. But that's 405. That's my old PR. Moving like that, that's pretty clean. I think we hit it at like a 0.4. Sickening. Like, that's sickening. Then we put 415 on the bar. This was massive. Like, I mean, that's a lifetime PR right there by 10 pounds. We are moving and crucifying that bar. There's a little bit of a sticking point here. You can see in slow motion where it feels really, really heavy. But once I get used to more of these weights, and that's the thing, that's the goal of weeks 9 and 10 of the program before the deload, before the max out week, is to really get used to moving these weights again, moving heavy weights, heavy singles. I think there's something neurologically about like just getting used to moving a single, moving the heavy weight, getting the body used to moving weights that you haven't used before. And then the max out week, it's not going to crush me. I think going from like straight triples into singles, or like straight training phases into singles, it's a different skill set. The triples, the fives, the fours, the doubles, like I think they all build up strength. And I think the neurological components of the singles is just a little bit different, and you do have to give yourself a couple weeks to kind of get used to that. But we're grinding up that weight like that. That's clean. That moved out. I think it was a 0.32, and that's a massive lifetime PR. So that was kind of cool to be able to do today and really get after today. Like, this was a really, really good training day. I was pretty excited. We set a PR in the triple jump. We set a PR in the deficit snatch by like 20 pounds. We set a PR not lifetime PR, but a weights PR for sure in the standing vertical jumps. We moved 365 like it was nothing. We had a legitimate shot at 390. I was being a little bit of a coward. And again, I've been talking myself out of PRs a little bit just because it's like, well, I hit a PR the previous week, so I shouldn't hit one this week. That type of thing. Or it's like not max out week, so like you could mess yourself up if you do it. Like just chicken shit stuff. So I think we have 390 in the tank on those hang cleans. I think we're definitely going to be able to do that, especially when we get the good bar coming next week, which I'm excited for. But things are cooking. I am excited for where this program is going, where the strength levels are currently at. As long as we don't absolutely murder ourselves in the softball tournament this weekend, I think we have a legitimate chance at having a really, really big next week and a massive, massive PR week that's coming. So sorry about the audio. Sorry about messing this up. If you have any questions for me, if you have anything you want me to answer, please leave a comment in this video and I will answer them in next video, because we will be doing the same thing where we have a little bit of a voiceover, and we will get after the next couple training sessions. I have it unmuted, so we are going to go rip some back squat singles. Today we got some hip snatches, some power cleans, again, back squat singles, which I hope to hit a new PR on today, and we got our hex bar 10-inch jumps. So we are going to be able to get after those things and see what the week leads to. Then we got the rest of the week off. We're going to head to Kansas City. We got a 6.5-hour car ride picking up the girlfriend tomorrow. Then we're going to head there, get after that, take Monday off, hit Tuesday, Wednesday as our max out days, as our speed buster Thursday and our max out Friday. Take the rest of the week off there, finish up week 10 of the program. Then we got a deload. Then we got max out week. So should be pretty cooking, and I am excited to see where this program goes. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel, and I will let the rest of this video play. Let's go.